Do you give any credence to the theory that Matt Lafleur has had enough of Aaron Rodgers?
Bob McGinn has been covering the Packers, and he's embedded with that team since almost longer than Bomani has been alive and since longer than Katie Nolan has been alive. So the reporting on this, even though it's speculative, even though he's just theorizing that LaFleur has grown weary of Aaron Rodgers, you have to pay attention to it because it's not just some random blogger. It's a guy with connections and with credibility. And given, guys, everything that happened with the last few days where we were all confused, and you've seen now the stat that has made the rounds where Aaron Rodgers has thrown one touchdown pass in his entire career to a first-round pick, to Mercedes Lewis in 2019. This organization has failed Aaron Rodgers at many of the turns in terms of giving him the help, and yet still here we are having watched them insult and disrespect their quarterback by trading up in the first round after he said he wanted a first-round pick at a skill position for essentially his replacement. I don't know what credibility could look like on a story that is so weird, but it feels and looks like the people involved with this one, because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
Either they're fed up with Aaron Rodgers or they think he's cooked. Those are the only two options that you can have here. And I say that because if you look back after the 2011 CBA, which is the one that changed the salary structure for rookies and everything else, Paxton Lynch is the only quarterback that I can think of who was not the starter on the team that drafted him in the first round by year two. Everybody else, the E.J. Manuels of the world, they were starters by year two. If somebody takes you in the first round, it's because they expect by the next season you are going to wind up starting. So which one is it? Do they think that whatever shortcomings their offense had last year were the result of Aaron Rodgers, or is Matt Lafleur just at a place where he's sick of his guff? I tell you this, though, LaFleur better be careful. I don't know how this is all going to turn out. But Dan Reeves tried one of these moves on John Elway way back when, right? They drafted Tommy Maddox at a time where John Elway was like, can you get me more help? That effectively cost Dan Reeves his job, and that dude had been to 3 Super Bowls when he made that move. You're making a move on Aaron Rodgers, baby. It better work.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, this narrative about Aaron Rodgers being difficult to work with is something we heard a lot with when Mike McCarthy was there and then he was out, and things looked to be, at least from the very outside, okay between LaFleur and Rodgers last season. So this is a very interesting report, but like you said, Dan, it comes from somebody pretty credible, which then to me makes it reflect poorly more on LaFleur. You've been there for a year and you're already sick of this guy. You kind of have to learn to put up with an ego as a head coach of an NFL team, especially considering it doesn't really make sense in terms of salary cap hit to get rid of Rodgers sooner than 2 years from now. So even if you want him to be here to train your new guy and get him ready, and then you're going to trade Rodgers away, you're not going to do that next year. So it doesn't make any sense for you to publicly make him look like a say that your relationship isn't working out when it's got to work out for a little bit longer.
Well, let me also ask this question. I understand the Packers went 13-3 last year, but who came away from that being like, wow, that Matt Lafleur, he's a really good coach. Like, is he stringing this I know Sean McVay thing out to the point that he's going to try to parlay it into running Aaron Rodgers out of there? The reason I think it's more likely that the Packers think he's cooked is because it's hard for me to believe that Lafleur had the juice to do this just because he was tired of putting up with Aaron Rodgers. The general manager on some level must have also thought that they needed a quarterback. I don't think any one man could unilaterally make a move on Aaron Rodgers like this.
Understood, Bomani, but what are you doing just recently giving him all that money if you think he's 12 months removed from worthy of that money and now he's cooked?
That's a great question.
And if he's cooked, why would you tell anybody that? Because you're going to want to get rid of him and you're going to want people to want him. So you wouldn't want to tell anybody that he's no bueno.
By the way, the biggest loser in this, we'd all have to agree, is Jordan Love, right? He can't win no matter what when it comes around. He better be ready to play. If not, being the guy that replaces that guy, and we're talking about you replacing him, good luck, buddy. Good luck.
I don't know, Bomani. Love always wins.
Fair.
It's a love always wins is a good joke.
Yeah, but let me tell you who usually loses.
Yeah. I love the joke made that Aaron will love Jordan like a brother, given that Aaron doesn't love his own brother.
Oh, he ain't gonna help him out a little bit, and I don't blame him.
Like family, which will never talk to him.
Nah, and by the way, while we're on this, are we sure that, like, I bet the majority knows, but it's going to be a whole lot of people surprised to find out that Jordan Love looks, well, I mean, he went to Utah State, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be some, wait a minute, what? That's going to happen. Some Kyle Van Noy situation is going to go down with some